By the year 2050, humans could be living on Mars. Imagine a fully functioning city on a dead, frozen planet. But Mars is one of the most hostile places in the solar system. There is no air, no liquid water, and deadly radiation everywhere. So how is SpaceX planning to turn this impossible world into humanity's second home? Like and subscribe to reach 1,000 subscriber. This is future reality soon. How do you build a self-sustaining city 225 million kilometers away from Earth? Unlike the moon, Mars cannot depend on Earth. Travel takes months, not days. If supply ships stop coming, can humans survive on Mars alone? To answer that, we need to understand what makes Mars so different, because everything depends on total independence from Earth's support systems eventually. Moon is close, so resupply is possible. Mars is distant and isolated. A self-sustaining colony must produce everything locally. The goal is to support 1 million people living on Mars. SpaceX envisions a long-term future beyond Earth, but Mars has almost nothing humans need. Survival depends on building industries from scratch to sustain life. We must ensure continuous human presence there always possible. Robots will arrive on Mars before any human mission begins, forming the foundation of the entire colonization strategy. SpaceX plans to deploy autonomous systems designed to operate in extreme conditions where human survival is not possible. These humanoid robots, powered by advanced artificial intelligence, will perform construction, maintenance, and resource preparation tasks across the Martian surface. Their primary purpose is to build essential infrastructure, such as habitats, energy systems, and storage facilities long before astronauts step onto the planet. Working in freezing temperatures, thin atmosphere, and high radiation, these machines will gradually transform a lifeless environment into a prepared landing zone for humans. By operating without fatigue or risk, they become the first builders of a new world, ensuring basic survival structures already in place functioning. Multiple rockets are launched toward Mars in coordinated missions to increase the probability of success. SpaceX sends several Starship vehicles together, knowing that not all of them will survive landing attempts. The primary objective is simple: achieve at least one successful landing on the Martian surface. These early missions follow a trial-and-error approach, where each failure provides critical data for improvement. SpaceX relies on rapid iteration learning from mistakes and refining technology until precision is achieved. This strategy transforms failure into progress and brings Mars colonization closer to reality. Each mission builds confidence in future landings while expanding operational knowledge of Martian conditions. Engineers analyze every outcome carefully. Larger cargo missions arrive on Mars, carrying essential infrastructure for early survival systems. These missions include equipment for power generation, life support, and construction operations. SpaceX identifies Arcadia Planitia as the primary settlement zone due to its flat terrain and access to underground water ice. This location is critical because water is the foundation of survival on Mars. It can be transformed into drinking water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel, making it the most valuable resource available. Engineers and robots work together to map and extract these reserves, carefully preparing the ground for human arrival. Every system installed here supports future settlement growth, ensuring sustainability over long-term expansion. Efforts continue steadily across the region. Permanent human presence begins. Water extraction becomes one of the most important systems on Mars. Ice beneath the surface is mined and processed into drinkable water for future settlers. At the same time, water is split into hydrogen and oxygen, providing breathable air and fuel components. Oxygen supports human survival, while hydrogen becomes part of rocket fuel production. Mars colonists must rely on local resources because supply chains from Earth are slow and unreliable. To solve this, SpaceX builds systems that convert carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into methane fuel, enabling rockets to launch back if necessary. This creates a closed-loop system where Mars supports itself independently, reducing dependence on Earth over time and building true self-sustainability for future generations living there. Mining operations become essential for extracting underground water ice and valuable minerals beneath the Martian surface. Robots, equipped with drilling technology, dig deep into the soil, collecting resources needed for survival. The extracted materials are processed and repurposed for building roads, landing pads, and structural foundations. This reduces dependence on Earth and strengthens the local infrastructure system. Every material found on Mars becomes part of a larger construction cycle where nothing is wasted and everything contributes to survival efficiency. Over time, mining turns Mars into a productive industrial environment, supporting human expansion and enabling long-term colonization across the planet while improving sustainability systems for future growth and stability. Mars presents extreme environmental challenges that threaten human survival. Temperatures drop far below freezing levels, and the atmosphere is so thin that it cannot support human life without artificial protection. Radiation from the sun reaches the surface, directly creating a constant danger for any living organism. Without proper shielding, exposure could become fatal within hours. Another major challenge is food production, since Martian soil contains toxic perchlorates that prevent plant growth. Even reaching Mars requires a journey of several months, making evacuation or emergency return nearly impossible. For many settlers, this becomes a one-way mission, increasing psychological pressure and isolation. The central challenge remains clear even if humans arrive. The true breakthrough in Mars colonization is realizing that survival depends entirely on using what the planet already provides. Water is not only for drinking, but also becomes a source of oxygen and rocket fuel. The thin atmosphere, though hostile, contains carbon dioxide, which can be converted into methane fuel, enabling return journeys. Even more surprisingly, human waste becomes a valuable resource used in construction and energy systems, transforming what was once considered useless into essential building material. Nothing on Mars is wasted, and every element contributes to survival and growth. This creates a closed-loop system where life sustains life itself, marking the beginning of true self-sustainability. Power systems on Mars rely on solar panels that collect sunlight during the day and store energy in advanced battery systems for continuous nighttime operation, ensuring survival during dust storms and low visibility periods. Life support systems provide oxygen generation, pressure regulation, and temperature control, maintaining a breathable and stable environment for humans inside habitats. Housing begins with modified Starship vehicles used as temporary shelters before evolving into permanent structures over time. Every system is interconnected, forming a self-sustaining Martian city together. Glass domes cannot be used in early Mars construction because they are too heavy and complex to transport and assemble in extreme conditions. Instead, engineers propose alternative solutions such as ice domes, which provide natural insulation and radiation shielding, protecting future settlers. Another option is inflatable habitats covered with layers of Martian soil, which adds structural strength and reduces environmental risk. These designs allow humans to establish safer living spaces while gradually expanding infrastructure across the planet, marking a crucial step toward long-term Mars living. One of the most important breakthroughs in Mars colonization is the development of biocrete, a concrete-like material made using human waste products. This material may sound unusual, but it becomes extremely strong when processed correctly, making it suitable for building structures in harsh environments. By using resources already available on Mars, such as soil and human byproducts, settlers reduce dependence on Earth-based supplies significantly. This innovation also supports large-scale construction, including homes, roads, and landing zones without requiring constant resupply missions, ensuring long-term. Food production on Mars presents one of the greatest survival challenges because the soil contains toxic perchlorates that prevent normal plant growth. To solve this problem, scientists propose two main approaches: importing soil from Earth, which is limited and unsustainable for large populations, or processing Martian soil to remove toxins and make it suitable for agriculture, which is difficult but scalable over time. Farming on Mars therefore becomes one of the most complex and critical tasks for long-term survival, requiring careful planning and continuous scientific innovation over extended periods. This story is not just about Mars, it represents the future of humanity as a whole. It highlights the transition toward becoming a multi-planetary species capable of surviving beyond Earth. Earth may not always remain safe due to natural or human-made risks, so expanding into space becomes a necessary step for long-term survival. The key lesson is that survival depends on adaptability, innovation, and cooperation across generations. Mars forces humanity to rethink how we live, build, and survive in extreme environments, ultimately shaping a new era of human civilization, driving innovation that could redefine technology, energy, and survival systems for future generations across planets beyond Earth itself. To summarize the journey from robots building infrastructure to humans establishing permanent life on Mars shows a clear path towards self-sustaining civilization. But this is only the beginning, because the real question is, what happens when 1 million people actually live there? The challenges of energy, food, water, and survival will shape the next phase of exploration and expansion. If you found this video interesting, check out our next video on the future of space colonization. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more science and space exploration stories every week now.